Ellie's Place is a center that serves grieving children and teens in the Capital Region community. I began connecting with Ellie's Place back in 2006. My late husband and I took a tour of Ellie's Place and just fell in love. So after Scott and I took a tour of Ellie's Place, we both became involved, not only time, treasure, and talent. He felt it was very important to be involved as a pain medicine physician, as he saw many patients come in who have been using narcotics to numb pain from something from their childhood. So he thought it was imperative to be involved so they wouldn't end up in the pain center later. And from my perspective, I had two uncles die at a young age, and my cousins were 15 to 30. And back in the late 80s, you didn't discuss grief at all. You just put on your boots and kept going. The impact of unresolved grief lasts for a lifetime. And I wanted to make sure that children had an opportunity in a safe place to process their grief.
When I met Kristine and I toured Ellie's Place, I was shocked and excited, and it touched some deep inner pain in my life. I was orphaned at 10 years old. My parents were murdered, and that was in 1986. And I went through a childhood and didn't have what Ellie's Place had. I'm on my personal journey, doing a lot of the work that Ellie's Place is, free to our community, to families like mine that didn't have this opportunity back in the early 90s.
And that speaks to what I talked about, why we got involved, is if you don't deal with grief as a child, at some time it's going to come out. And that's what's beautiful about Ellie's Place. And we talked about is here's this opportunity right then and there, or when it's fresh, that they can start processing their grief.
The opportunity that is right here in our community, I think, is probably what moved me the most, is that there is this opportunity in our community today and here and now to help children and people like me who have had to go through extreme pain at a young age. For me, it was a spark of there has to be something more beyond this pain that I'm in right now. There has to be a moment of belief that there's something greater to live for, because there's so many times in my childhood where I didn't want to live any longer. The hope of it could be sunny again, so that when they walk through the door, that there's hope that there's something beyond their grief and their pain, that there's getting back to you're never going to have that relationship back, but that there could be more abundance in the future, something that you couldn't imagine at that time, that would not replace it, but get you beyond the immediate pain to experience love, experience, the joy of living, experience some of the things that when you go through that grief, you don't experience it for a long, long time. So
our building was built in 2003, and the library was beautiful, but it was like almost a school library. And now when they walk in and they'll go into our library, it is warm and comforting, and between the water feature and a place for a child to lay down if they just want to let the adult talk to the bereavement counselor and just take a little bit of a break. It's a safe place for them at one of their darkest hours of their life.
Every person that I've met in Ellie's Place, they just have a heart for the broken and the lost. And that's reflective, I think, of your heart, Living the life that I'm living, to be involved in a place like Ellie's Place, to have a family, to, be running a company. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that at the time, but if I could just imagine a little spark of light or a little spark of sun to get me to tomorrow, to get me to the next day, and then eventually I can see a week out, that Ellie's Place is that place. It's a place where kids come in and they get to see somebody that's been in the program for a year, and wait, I could get there, or, that there is something more to life than where I'm stuck today.
We are a stronger community when you care for those, especially those that need us most. And that's what Ellie's Place does. And that's the gift from Custom Built of making this space so welcoming and warm. We'll have 1,800 people utilizing our services each year that are touched upon and that first time of coming through those doors. And it is that time where they can just take a breath and as you said, see the light. They don't feel it right now, and that's okay because they're raw in their pain, but there's some hope.
At Custom Built, our core focus is to impact families. And, we do that by going into houses and remodeling. But really what excites me the most about being in business and being able to collaborate with Ellie's Place or other nonprofits is the reality that we get to help the vulnerable and those who are broken and going through the hardest. And so for me, to meet you, Kristine, at a place in my life where I was really struggling, and to see what you were doing with the kids and how it, even in just that little moment, it just impacted my life, which in turn caused me to go back to my company and say, we have to figure out how to support Ellie's Place. And that began our partnership with Ellie's Place of beginning to give and getting involved. And it's just good to be in partnership with people that have the same mission of impacting families. And you guys are doing that. We're doing that together.
We're doing that together. So many hands make light work. And the beautiful part of Ellie's Place is our community helps us. And the opportunity I had the first time Michael and I met and had a conversation walk through the building, I quickly knew that we forever were going to collaborate and work together to make life a little easier for others. And so what a blessing it is that our paths crossed, and together now we are creating this beautiful space so the kiddos, when they walk through our door, are just going to feel a little bit of hope.